شباب العالم.
Still, we are talking about museums and how important it is. Well, let me say that it is one of the best ways to learn more about ancient culture, history, and civilization. Well, here we are in the Egyptian Museum located in Tahrir Square, and still we have a lot of things to see here, even though we visited this museum before. But still, every time you will come, you will find something new because you can never learn a lot of things or all the information that you are looking for on one day. For example, here in this area, we're going to move on into the New Kingdom, and we're going to find out more about belongings of ancient kings and queens. Well, here we have something very, very interesting, and right now I'm going to bring you more about it and more about some specific places inside the Egyptian Museum located in Tahrir Square.
Today, we will talk about Yoya and Toya. Yoya was a powerful ancient Egyptian courtier during the 18th dynasty of Egypt. He was married to Toya, an Egyptian noblewoman associated with the royal family who held high offices in the governmental and religious hierarchies. They are the parents of Queen T, who became the great royal wife of Amenhotep III. The tomb of Yoya and Toya was, until the discovery of Tutankhamun's, one of the most spectacular ever found in the Valley of the Kings, despite Yoya not even being a pharaoh. Toya burial site was robbed in antiquity. Many objects not considered worth plundering by the robbers remained. Both the mummies were largely intact and were in an amazing state of preservation. Their faces in particular were relatively undistorted by the process of mummification. And provide an extraordinary insight into the actual appearance of the deceased while alive. Yoya served as a key advisor for Amenhotep III and held posts such as King's Lieutenant and Master of the Horse. His title, Father of the God, possibly referred specifically to his being Amenhotep's father-in-law. In his native town of Akhmin, Yoya was a prophet of Min, the chief god of the area, and served as the deity's superintendent of cattle. When Yoya and Toya died, the royal in-laws made sure they were buried in style in a prime location, the Valley of the Kings, the great royal cemetery of the 18th and 19th dynasties. It was discovered in 1905. The mortal remains of Yoya and Toya are so beautifully preserved. They are now the rock stars of the mummy world. A proper mummification took a long time and cost a lot of money, and in this case, the embalmers seem to have spared no expense. Yoya and Toya's faces are so full of personality they appear to have passed away just recently. The curls of their hair, the arches of their eyebrows, the shape of noses and ears and lips are all intact. The funerary furniture is similarly intriguing. A single burial chamber held a great assembly of stuff, including gilded coffins and face masks, glittering chairs and beds, a complete chariot, ornate limestone vases, inlaid boxes, a wig of human hair, a wig basket of papyrus, multiple pairs of sandals made of leather and woven grass, and also small wooden figures called shaptas that were meant to come alive in the great beyond to work as servants for the deceased couple. Toya's funerary mask, formed from plastered and gilded linen, was meant to preserve her features for eternity. A linen shroud lightly blackened with age was originally stuck to the mask, but has now come away in places to reveal the glimmer of gold. Yoya is a stunning example of ancient Egyptian embalming. He and his wife were probably between 50 and 60 years old at the time of death. Like her husband, Toya was identified by inscriptions on funerary equipment. Hieroglyphs spell out her name and titles, which include Dresser to the King, Chantress of the god Amun, and Lady of the Harem of the god Men. Yoya and Toya were Egyptian nobles whose name became famous again at the beginning of the 20th century. When their final home was discovered, researchers could not believe their eyes. That event took place almost 2 decades before Carter discovered the tomb of their grandson, and in those times it was perhaps the greatest golden treasure of Egypt. The burial chamber isn't anything unusual. It is a typical chamber from the 18th dynasty. However, something unique about this tomb is the artifacts it held. The overwhelming treasures discovered inside the tomb contained everything that Egyptologists would dream of. First of all, there were the very well-preserved mummies of Yoya and Toya. Until now, they are some of the best preserved remains discovered in Egypt. Apart from the mummies, archaeologists discovered anthropoid coffins, a box coffin, mummy bands, headpieces, amulets, scarabs, and a canopy or box coffin, and also canopic chests, in addition to the canopic jars, Osiris beds, the Shaptas and the Shapti boxes, and also there were the magical statues, papyri, model coffins, and also the chariots. There were also the golden chairs, the sandals, the pottery and stone vessels, jars with embalming products, meat boxes, remains of plants, jewelry, and also small seals and many other goods. One of the most impressive of the artifacts discovered in the tomb was a complete and well-preserved chariot. It is believed that it may have been the best preserved chariot in the world.